Today, we'll look at ways we can safeguard against AGI, look deeper into Goodhart's law, present an open source dataset with 60,000 emotional videos, besides other news and new opportunities in ML and AI safety. Today is the 28th of October. My name is Thomas, and welcome to this week's ML Safety Update. What does it take to defend the world against artificial general intelligence? Steve Burns asked himself this in a new post. He imagines a world where the aligned AGI is developed a couple of years before the unaligned AGI, and thereby uses Paul Christiano's optimistic strategy stealing assumption that if the aligned AGI is developed first, it can do things that avoids future unaligned AGIs. The general fears on this scenario are that 1. This scenario might actually be more destructive than protective. 2. Humans may not trust the aligned AI. 3. Alignment strategies actually make the aligned AGI worse than a misaligned AI. And 4. It is very difficult to change society fast while adhering to human laws. Burns point out that all the fears are very relevant and believe that they could become reality because 1. If safe AGI is widespread deployed to defend against misaligned AGI, the risk lies in the agents or actors. So in a world where several actors mistrust each other and aren't necessarily AGI experts, the safe AGI might harm more than it helps. 2. If AGI is used to educate society, for example by being an oracle advisor to leaders of governments, the risk again lies in the actors. When asked for advice, the AGI might not be acknowledged since it might say what the actors do not want to hear. 3. Right now, security measures in non-AI seems not to be that safe enough, for example regarding cybersecurity, and therefore it provides a risky training dataset. And 4. If AGI development is stopped in the specific labs with the highest chance of creating AGI, we rigidly just buy time until another actor develops AGI. But even though forcefully stopping AGI research has a lot of caveats that are similar to the other points I mentioned, it seems like this last option might be one of our best chances if we are to solve the alignment problem in time. So, all in all, it seems that general access to an artificial general intelligence can lead to a small group destroying the world, and any defense against it is unlikely to work. Nice. On another news, Leo Gao, John Schulman and Jakob Hilton has investigated how differently sized models over-optimize to a reward target in their new paper. This is commonly known as Goodhart's law and can be described as the effect that optimizing for an imperfect representation of the true preference will fail because that representation becomes optimized instead of what we actually want to optimize. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's say that you have a measurement of customer satisfaction and you want better customer satisfaction. So you then decide that you'll reward your employees and those that are given the highest customer satisfaction scores. However, with this, your employees will do whatever they can to get high customer satisfaction scores, even if they have to manipulate the customer in some way. So once this happens, customer satisfaction scores start to cease away from being a good measure of actual customer happiness. So taking this example to AI safety, the true preference might be human values, and training a model on a proxy of these will probably lead to misalignment. It is hard to avoid Goodhart's law because you need to have constant human oversight to continuously update to human preferences. The authors have here created a toy example with a reward model as a stand-in for the human, and then they simulate an imperfect, non-human reward signal by changing the reward from this gold standard in different ways. They find scaling laws that can be used to predict how well reinforcement learning from human feedback works for larger models and describe the results in relation to 4 ways of thinking about Goodhart's law. And one of these ways is regressional Goodhart's. So when the proxy reward is a noisy representation of the true reward, So taking this to their experiment, that means that if we have a noisy proxy, then that will lead to a lower reward on the true preference than a human would give. In other news, a new paper released a dataset with 60,000 videos manually marked for their emotional qualities. The authors hope that this can help with better human preference learning from video examples by training our neural networks to gain better cognitive empathy. Neil Nanda releases a list of prerequisite skills to do research in mechanistic interpretability. Oldenseal and Shea claim that Kolmogorov complexity and Shannon entropy are misleading measures of structure for interpretability and that we need a new measure. However, they receive pushback from Shirley's, who notes that this is probably not true. A new research agenda attempts to design the representation in the latent space of autoencoders according to our preferences. A new reinforcement learning environment can be used to measure how power-seeking an AI is. Each state in the environment is associated with an instrumental value indicating how much power a specific state gives. The environment has been released by Gladstone AI, who have already published several articles using the environment. Now, let's get into some of the newly available ways to get into machine learning and AI safety curated by Blue Dot Impact. There are quite a few jobs available for the moment being. Anthropic is looking for senior software engineers to build ML system from the ground up. AI Impacts is looking for a research assistant, a senior researcher, and a research analyst. Berkeley Existential Risks Initiative is opening a position for a research assistant, and ORT has a spot open for a machine learning engineering intern. Apply to these jobs now with the links in the description below. The job openings from last week are also still open. Also, you can still win up to $1.5 million to change the mind of the FTX Future Fund team. And join our interpretability research hackathon that starts in 2 weeks and runs over the weekend. You can participate online as well as in London, Aarhus and Tallinn. You can also apply to the long-term Future Fund to receive grants for projects related to ML safety. This has been the ML Safety Update. Thank you for watching and we look forward to seeing you next week.